Finally, we get to talk about real football that doesn't count. What's up? Welcome to the best 49ers show. That's Ryan G. Hensley. I'm Grant Combs. Been a few weeks since we've done our show, but we're back because the Niners are back. And it's a preseason game. These are some of the toughest games to cover because it's like, how much importance do you put in anything? Do you focus on individual players? Can you make big picture claims or observations? We're going to try to do the right amount of analysis today, but not too much. You never want to do too much. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Trying to stay cool. I might drive out to the Bay today because it's hot. It's supposed to be like 104 out here.
Yeah, Central Valley is no joke. That's smart to do this show early in the morning. Give you optionality for the rest of your day.
Yeah. I think I might hit Santa Cruz, spend the night or something.
Yeah. That sounds like a nice day.
Yeah, man. Love it.
Yeah, man. You got plans. I gotta one up you on that one. All right, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. But in the meantime, what we're gonna do is go position by position, talk about whose stock is up, whose stock is down, and then we're gonna go big picture at the end. Okay. That's the plan. So let's start with quarterbacks. Was hyping up Mac Jones really hard all offseason. He had that nice throw. He had a good throw. Then the wheels fell off, and I started making excuses because that's my guy. What do you think? What do you think of the quarterback room in general? I mean, the next two guys were even better.
Yeah, man. Brock Purdy better stay healthy because Mac Jones is a statue. I hate to bring down your guy.
That is true, though. I can't argue with that.
Put it this way. Who had a better preseason game, Mac Jones or Trey Lance?
Oh, Trey Lance. Now, I am now the resident Mac Jones apologist since no one wants to do it, and it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
He was playing against a starting Broncos defense. There was no Trent Williams. There were really no starters out there for him. He was an impossible situation, and yet through sheer determination and skill and effort, he was not awful. And that interception, I don't think was his fault. To me, when I saw it, I was like, that's one of the worst routes I've ever seen. And then it was nice to see that Kyle Shanahan threw the rookie under the bus after the game because that's what I would have done. But Mac didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones, he looks like a decent backup, to me. Nothing more. Like in today's NFL, if you can't move, especially on the 49ers, where your O-line is not going to do you many favors, you have to you're going to be in trouble. So
he was by far the slowest quarterback on the field yesterday. By far. Tanner can run, Carter can run, freaking Stidham can run better than Jones. So he's got to be, Peyton Manning out there. And in practice, let me tell you, Ryan, he's not Peyton Manning, but he's good. He's good in practice. I just want to give him. I want to see the rest of the preseason before we write him off. I'm ready to write off Tanner Mordecai and Carter Bradley today. How are they here?
Well, we know how. I don't want to be a bully, but we know how Carter Bradley's here. I hate to say it.
It's a bad look. If he were good, but like he's not good, and his dad's the assistant head coach, bad look.
He doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. I'm sorry, bud. I mean, thank God we got Brock because he's mobile. He can, evade some of the pressure. Mac is going to struggle with that. He's going to have to get the ball out really quickly like Jimmy did in order to survive if he has to play. But he does have a good arm. I'll say that. And as he starts to understand the offense more and more, I think he'll be an adequate backup. But I think that's the kind of ceiling for Mac Jones. As far as these other dudes, they don't look like they belong in the NFL.
You had a tweet and said John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan I'm paraphrasing, have absolutely no idea what they're doing at their quarterback position, and they lucked into Brock Purdy. I think there's a lot of evidence to support that.
I mean, I think I'm trying to remember all the quarterbacks, but I think there was like 9 or 10 quarterbacks that the 49ers have brought in since Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been here. And the only one that's worked out is Brock Purdy, and they weren't even responsible for bringing him in.
Yeah, like they get a win for Sam Darnold, but we don't actually know how Sam Darnold would have played on the 49ers. And maybe it was KOC and the Vikings that unlocked whatever potential was there, if it was even there. I don't know.
I'll give him some credit.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'll give him some credit for Darnold, but shout out to what's his name, Nick Newman. Shout out to Nick Newman.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We argue sometimes, but he's like, "What do you mean? They got good play out of C.J. Beathard and Jimmy Garoppolo." I'm like, if after 9 years that's your achievement is Jimmy Garoppolo and C.J. Beathard or Nick Mullins or whoever he said, that's not much to stand on.
I just want to say something. Look, I'll be done with Mac Jones in 2 weeks. All right. Can you guys just bear with me on this one? Can you bear with me? I didn't like Mac Jones coming out, but I like him a lot. And he did something after the, like, I'm comparing him to Jimmy. I am adamant that he is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever that means. If Jimmy threw that pick after, in the game, he would have blamed the wide receiver. He never took responsibility for his mistakes. And Kyle blamed the wide receiver. Someone asked Mac after the game, like, so it was a bad route, right? And he was like, Watkins played really well. He's a rookie. It's between us. Like, we have to get on the same page. It's not all him. I thought I was like, man, Jimmy never would have done that. And another thing about Jimmy could throw. Jimmy had a nice arm. He could throw. Mac has a nice arm. He could throw. Jimmy wasn't smart. Can we say that now? He's been off the team for a few years, okay? Jimmy wasn't smart. Mm-hmm. Mac is smart. I think it's clear that he's smart. So that's why I want to see him like backups against backups in some type of a like even situation. Having Spencer Burford, I'm making excuses again, but I want to see 2 more preseason games before I say that he's buns.
I like that you are seeing that from Mac Jones, because one of my issues with Mac Jones coming out of college and even, in his beginning with the Patriots is I did not like his leadership. So maybe he's maturing as a leader, and that's good to hear. And, I think Mac Jones will be an adequate backup, right? Like, I think he can give you all you really can expect from a backup quarterback. I just don't see him as a starter in the NFL with his lack of mobility. I think now in the NFL, if you want to be a real top 10, 15 quarterback, you got to be somewhat mobile. I mean, those days of like with Tom Brady and those type of guys, it's kind of in the past. I mean,
I think of him as sort of like Goff.
It's not mobile.
I think of him as sort of like Goff. Goff isn't mobile. And if you put Goff on the Niners' second team offense yesterday against the Broncos' first team defense, he would have looked clunky. He probably would have taken some sacks. He might have made some bad decisions because it's Goff. But if you put him on a good team with a good offensive coordinator and everything's kind of like right and all he has to do is make some throws, he could do that until he messes up in the playoffs. I feel like Mac Jones could do that essentially. So that's why. I don't know if the Niners have that team anymore. Like, they have problems on the offensive line. He may not flourish on the Niners the way that so many quarterbacks did for so long. It's a tougher situation now.
Yeah, I know we're gonna get to the offensive line, but
yeah. But Dangerous Dave says, my guys, Carter sucks. D looks okay, yet worried. Well, here's the thing. Carter's never going to play in a real game for the 49ers. So that's, although you can't, I mean, the Niners went 5 deep at quarterback in 2022. They might need Carter. The fact that Kyle Shanahan and Gus Bradley both named their sons Carter independently is amazing.
Lil Wayne influence.
Yeah. RLB2ESQ says, Iggy and Ryan, OG Hensley, football's
What's up,
back.
brother Bob?
What's up, brother Bob? Been a minute. Shady Luke says, did y'all watch Tanner McKee with the rest of the Eagles backups versus Cincy starting defense? Laugh my ass off. Tanner McKee's good, though. Stanford? Tanner McKee's pretty good. I'm moving to Jesse's area soon. Can't wait. Well, you gotta hit him up. All right, let's go. Let's keep going to the running backs. No Garendo, no Christian McCaffrey, no Jordan James. What did you think of the running backs who did play?
Well, I mean, if Jordan James is any good, I'm actually pretty excited about 49ers running back room. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, Isaac Garendo, if he can stay healthy. And then who knows what Jordan James looks like. I haven't seen him at all. You've been at training camp. But what I walked away from last night's game is Corey Kiner is actually really impressive, more so than Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor's the kind of guy that the Niners can cut, and if they need him, they can sign him later. Corey Kiner, I think, might get picked up by somebody. It's very early, only one preseason game, but he looked good, man. I was impressed with Corey Kiner, and even at kick return, he had a kick return that was impressive too. So I think they may have somebody in Corey Kiner, and running back is a position for the 49ers that I'm pretty confident in, assuming Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy.
Yeah, assuming. I like Corey Kiner too. He's definitely got juice. He's elusive. He runs hard. He seems to have good vision. He didn't have a lot to work with out there, but he was solid. I think I'm a little higher on Patrick Taylor Jr. than I expected to be. I didn't think anything of him last year. To me, he looks like noticeably stronger and in better shape this year than last year. And I thought his touchdown run was nice. I mean, I thought he was kind of dead to rights in the backfield, and then he bounced to the outside and had this burst I didn't know he had and outrun the defender. Was it Huff? I don't even know who it was, but he made a nice play on that play. And I feel like Of all the Niners running backs, he's the biggest one. He's not as big as Jordan Mason, but he's not that much smaller. And, they need someone who can be durable and be a bruiser. It was Mason. And they got rid of Mason. They drafted Jordan James. I don't think it's Jordan James, at least as a rookie. He's in and out. He's not that big. Corey Kiner's good, but he's not a bruiser. So I think I don't know. Maybe I'm
5 carries, 7 yards, 1.4 yards per carry for Patrick Taylor. Now,
it was the best 5 carry 7-yard performance I've ever seen. And again, I want to make excuses because I'm a shameless Niners shill. He was playing, Spencer Burford, no Trent Williams, all a bunch of backup offensive linemen. Christian would have struggled.
Patrick Taylor runs hard. He always runs hard. He gets every yard he can. I don't like to base things on stats. I was just messing with you there, but I do think Patrick Taylor runs hard, but I also think he's the kind of player, like, if you cut him, nobody's going to sign him, and then you can always grab him at any moment. Whereas Corey Kiner, if you lose him, he's a young rookie. Somebody might snatch him up.
They better not cut either one, because right now those are their 3. Those are their 2 backup running backs. Those 2. Garendo.
So Amir Abdullah, you would think that he's on the team, right? Because of how old he is, his experience, his running, his passing. You think they would keep him, but he got injured, so I didn't really get to see much of him either.
Yeah,
but
he's in his 30s, right?
What does Jordan James look like to you in practice?
I don't know. He's hurt all the time. Really, I kind of like to see him in live action and see what he looks like. Can he break a tackle? How hard do you run through the whole kind of? Yeah, I don't know. Corey Kiner's been the one who's been out there.
I was impressed with Corey Kiner's vision as a rookie. Really good vision, man. And he looked for contact, right? Like, if he wasn't going to be able to get past the guy, he went heads up with the guy. I like Corey Kiner, man. I think they got a guy in Corey Kiner. And, they look at the 49ers historically. The undrafted free agent running back seems to do pretty damn good.
Let me make a very irresponsible prediction right now that if it's right, I want you guys to remember. But if it's wrong, let me off the hook. All right?
Yeah.
Patrick Taylor Jr. will lead the Niners in rushing this season. And that's not a good thing.
No.
I just feel like he's going to be the last man standing. He was last year.
Can we let's make a wager on that one? Do I got to pick somebody?
Damn. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think it's in my favor, though, honestly.
All right. A round of golf at Monarch, 9-hole.
All right.
It's a whole $15 wager right there.
That's pretty
for
big.
Non-members.
Okay.
All right.
Deal.
All right. Or any other $15 amount value wager you can think of.
A burrito?
That's how confident I'm feeling about this prediction of mine. All right, let's go to wide receivers. What did you see from? Well, first of all, no Ricky, no Jawan. Ayuk was there. I saw him, but he didn't play. We got Demarcus Robinson and Jordan Watkins and a bunch of other guys who didn't do a lot. What do you think?
It's tough to judge the wide receivers yesterday based on the quarterback play.
That's a good point.
Right. That's the hard thing. Jordan Watkins, I like what I saw from Jordan Watkins. He does, need some time to understand the offense and his routes, because I do think that interception was probably on him.
Yeah, he made my guy look bad. I didn't like that.
Yeah, he did. But he still led the 49ers 3 receptions, 56 yards, 18.7 per. Guess who the second leading receiver? You probably know, but the second leading
was
receiver
it Tonjes?
It was Tonjes.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. He's a problem.
That right there tells you it's hard to really judge what we have in these 49ers receivers. But I will say, not very, very exciting. I think Watkins is the only guy that you're like, hey, this is somebody, possibly. But outside of that, man, they need Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings. They need Brandon Ayuk to come back, or they might be in trouble. Honestly, I don't see a lot of talent there.
I like Watkins. I just feel like he's like most wide receivers on this team where it takes a year, because not only is his route running an issue right now, like that you need to, Brock's talked about it. You need to hit certain landmarks in your routes because the quarterbacks on this team throw with anticipation into spots. And if you're not at the right spot at the right time, they're going to stop throwing. You're not going to play. Ask Ricky last year. He was just running around for weeks. Right? Like running routes, not getting passes. He's like, he's doing cardio out there because he wasn't at the right spots. And Purdy talked about it. Now he is. He's getting targeted a bajillion times. So I wouldn't write off Jordan Watkins at all. It's going to take him some time.
I like what I saw from Watkins. It's just I didn't really get to see anything from anyone else. I'm sure Demarcus Robinson will be fine once he gets Brock out there. And you talked about what's his name, Cage.
He didn't do much. He's been looking all right in one-on-ones. He gives Stout some trouble, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to lose as a slot receiver in one-on-ones. Like you have the whole field available to you, no boundary.
Yeah, it's just again, I go back to the quarterback play. Like I want to see these with Brock so I can really understand what they got out there. But it's just another position to me that seems very thin. It's one of the positions that concerns me the most. Being that Ricky is always injured, being that Brandon Ayuk, we don't know when he's going to come back or what he's going to look like. Being that Juwan Jennings is not necessarily a burner. I'm glad they got Watkins because I think they're going to definitely need him. But beyond that, like I don't really know what the 49ers have at the wide receiver position.
Well, it's nice that I feel like Watkins gives him an element they didn't have last year. He's a legit deep threat while he's figuring out the rest of his route tree. Ricky Pearsall is also a deep threat. I mean, if he can get a clean release, which Kyle Shanahan is going to work to give him. But I think from Juwan Jennings' perspective, from Brandon Ayuk's perspective, watching that game last night, I bet they were thinking, this team needs me.
Yeah.
This team freaking needs me. And they know it.
And it would be nice to see Cowing get healthy.
Oh, yeah, Jacob Cowing. I forgot about him.
You almost forget about him, right? But like last
year,
I
100% forgot about him.
When he plays, he looks at receiver. I don't like him as a return man, but as a receiver, he looked encouraging. So hopefully he gets healthy because he's a burner too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go tight ends. And what I'm saying is basically Jake Tonjes and Luke Farrell.
Yeah. I mean, 49ers brought Luke Farrell over to block. He missed a big one. Kyle's still doing this thing, trying to use tight ends to block pass rushers. He wasn't able to make it happen. So, like if Luke Farrell can't block, what is he here for? So I was a little disappointed seeing that. But Tonjes, he made a couple of good catches. One was behind him. He got hit pretty hard. He pulled it in. So Tonjes is I guess encouraging. They still got Ross Dwelley. Where's Ross Dwelley at? We didn't even get to see him. What's going on, Ross Dwelley?
You know what the thing about Ross Dwelley is? He's going to make the team anyway. No one knows why or how he makes the team every year, but he's going to be in the league for I think he's going on his 8th year in the league. That's a real accomplishment for an undrafted guy from the University of San Diego who I think runs a 5.1 40 and might have 20 catches in his entire career. Who knows how? But the fact is, I wouldn't ever bet against him in a 53-man roster projection. It's Ross the boss. That's where we're starting.
I'm a little concerned for Braden Willis, man. He's still out there trying to fight for a spot. The most he's been able to do is contribute on special teams. I would love to see him have a game, man. So he can finally develop.
You're gonna have to take Ross's job, man. You got to do something. You can't do nothing and take Ross's job. You got to do a whole lot of something. And so far, Braden's been more of a practice guy.
Still waiting for the Niners to get that second tight end to be able to catch, be a guy after George.
I feel like Tonjes is interesting. As a receiver, he's not slow. He's not like super slow, and he can actually catch passes away from his frame, which is something. And I don't have an opinion on his blocking, but I kind of like Tonjes as a Ross Dwelley type. You know what I mean? Your classic Ross Dwelley type. And then Luke Farrell, I don't blame him at all for that, missing that block. To me, that's a Kyle Shanahan play, and I hate it. And I wish he would stop.
It's tough to come all the way over from the other side and get it. Yeah, I get it.
That's an understatement.
It doesn't make
Even
sense.
if he was standing right in front of that edge rusher, he would lose. Even if he was lined up face to face, he would lose. Dude, it's an edge rusher and you're a tight end. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't understand with Kyle, why he continues to do that. But I think they're solid with Luke Farrell. Tonjes probably is your third tight end. But I guess what I'm judging it by is the Delaney Walker, Vernon Davis days. Like I would love to get back to something like that. I know that's tough to do, but I would love to get another threat, like a real threat opposite George Kittle. I don't think they have that.
I feel like they've had an excellent tight end one for 19 years, from Vernon Davis to George Kittle. Yeah. Well, Vance McDonald was in there for a second. But they've been trying to replace Delaney Walker as tight end 2 for such a long time. He was so good. He was so good. And then he went and was tight end 1 for the Titans for a while.
Yeah.
He might have been better than Vernon Davis.
Yeah, so I don't know. Did they get better this year? Maybe at blocking. Maybe Farrell can block some dudes and they'll let George Kittle be free a little bit more. Maybe that's the plan. Hopefully that's what happens. As long as it's not DNs, top-notch DNs off
I'm
the head.
open-minded for Luke Farrell because the more he plays, the less the fullback plays. And, I'm always open to that. So,
Yeah.
Brother Bob, anti-Kyle Levy says, YouTube messing with our handles. Nick Martin equals trash. That's a little early. But, yeah, he was bad in this game. Brother Bob says, nice hat, Ryan OG. Fire Bob Melvin and Kyle Levy. Oh, but we're putting this on Bob Melvin. Nothing about Buster Posey, though? What about signing Willie Adamas, who hits 230 and strikes out hella much? Or extending Matt Chapman? Sorry, neither here nor there. Gus Bradley should be embarrassed and fire himself. That's messed up. It's like Collins didn't play. Change his number to 0. Man, you're on fire. Ross is a boss. I agree. Okay, offensive line. Get the defensive line after, but offensive line, no Trent. We saw Spencer Burford at left tackle. That was an eye-opener. What did you think of this group as a whole?
I mean, I didn't see anything positive. What I walked away with after this game is how important Colton McKivitz is, believe it or not, which is, the whole evolution of where I saw Colton McKivitz 3 years ago to now. Colton McKivitz is extremely important. And obviously Trent Williams. Without Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz, this team can't expect to win many games. It continues to be an area that just doesn't make sense under the Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch era, like why they continue not to invest in offensive line. They just don't look very good. Obviously with Pooney didn't play. So, if you have Pooney, you have McKivitz, you have Trent Williams in there, I think they can get by with a Ben Barge and whoever they throw Jake Brindle at center. But really, if you lose Trent or Colton, they're
Barge.
They're screwed, man. They don't have anybody at tackle that's adequate after that.
Or guard. I mean, Barge is so important to this team. He's solid, but he gets hurt a lot. He got hurt lifting weights this offseason. So I think a lot of us thought that they were going to draft maybe Kelvin Banks or an offensive tackle early and play him at guard for a year or two while Trent's still on the team, and then move him over to tackle if and when Trent gets injured or retires. That would have made sense, but they didn't. And so now they have a situation where, the 2 or 3 or 7 weeks that Trent's not playing, they don't have a tackle. They don't have a left tackle. I don't know if they can win. Last year, they couldn't win with Jalen Moore at left tackle. They won 1 game with Jalen Moore at left tackle, and he was serviceable. He was Colton McKivitz-esque. So that's why I thought they would make this a priority in this draft. Like, you guys can't win without Trent. He's 37. He's going to miss games. What if you're battling it out with the Rams and you guys have like the same record and you just lose 2 games that Trent Williams doesn't play, and that's why you missed the playoffs or something? I mean, it just seems so obvious, but they didn't do it. They got Andre Dillard, though.
Yeah, I mean, and so Josh Simmons was the guy. I wanted the 49ers to trade back and draft Josh Simmons. That's what my take was before the season. The Chiefs ended up getting him, and so far, he has looked really good for the Chiefs. Looks like they may have got a guy because he would have been a top 5 pick had he not got injured. He got injured, that set him back. Josh Simmons was who I wanted the 49ers to go get. They could have traded back, got more draft capital, and picked him up. Of course, Mykel Williams could be fantastic, but that's who I wanted them to go with, and I think that was a good move by the Chiefs. They got a steal with him, I think.
I think what's rough about the Mykel Williams pick, and it's so early, and he could end up being so good, really, but you passed on Josh Simmons. Why? Medical red flag. Totally valid. It's a little high to take, and that's why he dropped all the way to the end of round 1. But you passed on a medical red flag to take a medical red flag. And you could say it was just an ankle. All right, well, it affected him all of last year, and he keeps re-injuring it. So it seems like it's a I'm not going to say the C word. Dr. Dre knows what I'm talking about. Snoop knows what I'm talking about. It might be a little chronic. So it's a problem.
Yeah, it's hard to speak on him. I haven't seen him at all because I didn't go to any of the training camps. So I'm just based on what you guys are saying. He sounds like, from everyone, what everyone is saying, he sounds like he could be a player, just got to get healthy. And I'm not saying he was a bad pick yet. It's way too early to say that. I just don't understand the lack of investment in the offensive line, something I've been saying for 3 years. And this team really, like, more than ever, what I walked away from this game last night, and I know we're still going to talk about the defense, but it's just like they need everyone to be healthy this year more than ever, because I feel like the depth is just not there. This team is thin. Like, it's been overdosing on Ozempic. That's how thin it is. It's a concern.
I feel like with Michael, I could see him having a DeForest Buckner type career if he stays healthy, because Buckner, doesn't get hurt really. And his first year in the league, he had 6 sacks. His second year in the league, he had 3 sacks. He had some quarterback. He showed flashes that he was getting close, and then boom, 2018, third year, 12 sacks. And pretty much since there, he's been a perennial Pro Bowler. I could see Michael Williams being like that at by 22, 23, which would be great. But not if he's constantly in and out with an ankle injury. Then no. So it's too early to tell. I don't know. But this is a knee. That's the thing. This is a knee now. It's like, dude, do you just get hurt playing football? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're going to get the D-line, but, like, I just – offensively, to me, it's very thin. All these stars, they got to stay healthy. Trent's got to be healthy. George's got to be healthy. Ricky Pearsall's got to be healthy. Obviously, Christian and Brock, they need to stay healthy. It's more important than ever for me. They just don't have a lot of depth behind those guys at all. So I think that's one of the biggest concerns with this team coming into this year. I think they could be very competitive if those guys stay healthy. And I was encouraged with the defense. I know we're going to talk about that. So if the offensive weapons can stay healthy and the big name guys, the stars, the franchise players can stay healthy, then you never know what they can do this year. But you lose a couple of those guys and it could spiral pretty quickly.
I got a bonus question for you. What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? Ryan, we chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it will finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. I feel unfulfilled. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, Ryan? Do you ever think about that? It's just waiting to be unlocked. Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type. And when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with a free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinnesstype.com. That's myhappiness.com. It just takes a minute and it might change your life, Ryan. Then grab your copy of The Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up The Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today. I bet you're happier right now just hearing about that.
Extremely happy now.
Happiness on 11. Okay, I got defensive line. Alfred Collins, no pressures. CJ West, no pressures. Some run defense though, and then you got Sebastian Valdez showing up.
I like the defensive line, man. I'm not worried about CJ West. Collins is a little upright for me. It reminds me a little bit of your boy.
Yeah, my boy, JK.
Yeah. That's a little concerning, but honestly, they're rookies. That's the tough situation for the 49ers is they might have to rely on these guys more than they want to, and they're rookies. They don't have that NFL body yet necessarily, and it's gonna take some adjustment period. But I'm not worried about the 49ers defensive line at all. Actually, was really encouraged. Kalia Davis, man, I've been saying it for 3 years. When he's healthy, he's phenomenal. The problem is he's not healthy that much. But if he can stay healthy, I really, really like Kalia Davis. Like, he should be a starter, honestly. They still have Jordan Elliott. And then with CJ West, I actually like what I saw from CJ West. Evan Anderson was encouraging last year. We'll see if Alfred Collins can get his pad level down and contribute. But I don't have many concerns. And then Valdez Sebastian Valdez was actually really encouraging. So I think defensive tackle for the 49ers is all of a sudden one of their strongest positions.
I agree. And I think Kalia Davis Sebastian Valdez and Kalia Davis stole the show, but Kalia Davis was playing more against the starters. And I thought he was showing that he could start for this team. I mean, he is, I think, what a lot of people want CJ West to be. Maybe CJ West will become better than Kalia Davis, but Kalia is older than him and more developed than him. And I thought he was more powerful, had a stronger bull rush, generated more movement. I really like Kalia Davis, and I thought he did this last. I thought like in preseason last year, watching him was like he was playing a different game than the other backups out there, and then he got hurt.
Absolutely, man. And he looks to, this last game last year, his preseason was phenomenal. This last game was good also. Not quite as good as last year, but I imagine if he continues to play throughout the preseason, we'll see even more flashes from him. I like Kalia Davis. I think he could be a starter for this team if Alfred Collins or CJ West aren't quite ready. But I like CJ West. I think if you have CJ West and Kalia Davis in the middle of this team, that's tough to deal with. Those are two guys that demand double teams, and then that frees up the edges. So I'm encouraged with the 49ers whole defense, and we'll get through that in a second. But Valdez, man, like that guy looks just like a monster also. Like they're going to cut a guy that's pretty damn good, I would imagine.
I don't know if they're going to cut that guy. He looks too good. He's shown too much. I mean, if CJ West did all that stuff that Valdez did last night, I mean, if Alfred Collins did all that stuff, he will be doing backflips. So Valdez looks like a kind of guy. He's a little bit smaller than those guys, but he was getting in the backfield. He's making plays. Yeah. He was running sideline to sideline. I think that's a gem. He might be their best undrafted free agent this year. Him.
Yeah, Valdez looked like a monster, man. So I don't know how many they're going to keep on the defensive tackle side, but then on DN, obviously Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff, we didn't get to see much from. Michael Williams. I don't know who that fourth guy is. I would imagine they'll keep 4 on the ends at least. It's either who do you think it would be, Yatur or Sam Okuyama?
If he ever gets healthy. But yeah, Yatur, Nick, Michael, and Huff, maybe Sam as well.
Yeah.
If they keep
D-line, man, the D-line with Robert Saleh calling plays is going to be good, man. I think they will definitely.
And I think we saw also it's not going to be a 4-man rush pass rush team all the time. I mean, he was bringing 5-man pressures yesterday in a preseason game, blitzing Chase Lucas. It was kind of cool. They were doing stunts and twists and up front, all kind of stuff.
Defense is going to be greatly improved, particularly up front. The trenches are stacked with the 49ers on the defensive side, which is great, man. I just thinking about those young guys, they're so young. They're just going to get better and better as the year goes on and as seasons go on. So I think the 49ers have done a great job finding defensive line. And then with Robert Saleh, I'm very confident that they're going to be a lot better stopping that run and helping the edges get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. BNA established 1988 says Bradley was the wrong Nepo pick at quarterback. Who was the right Nepo pick? Oh, we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Brother Bob says, sadly, I really see 5-12 this year. We already hurt. No way we can expect Trent, Kittle, CMC to make the entire season. Purdy gets hurt with no Trent. They could absolutely be 5-12. They could be 12-5. It all depends on Trent more than anyone. Like Trent more than Kittle, Trent more than CMC, Trent more than Brock, in my opinion. Like Trent is on a whole different level.
Oh, for sure.
Because with him on the field, they can always run the ball. They can always run the ball to the left. And if they can run the ball, then they can do play action and everything kind of falls in line. Without him, they can't run the ball. They're one-dimensional. They for sure can't pass like that. They're fucked. Unless they're playing a team that really sucks.
And it's not just running the ball; it's protecting the blind side for Brock Purdy. I mean, Trent is the team. There's a reason why he's first-round Hall of Famer. I like that Brother Bob changed his name mid-show. Like it was RLB2ASQ and went back to Brother Bob in the middle of the show.
Yeah, that's just great poise and awareness and good adjustments. He's not a system commenter at all.
No.
Adjustments midstream. Yep, Ryan, we could use those 4 Trey Lance picks. Nah, man, they didn't need him. They're so light years ahead of the rest of the league. Jason Les says it was nice of the SF offense to frequently share the ball with the Denver defense. Burford makes the game 10-12. He was the best player on Denver's defense. I laughed, but it was mean. But I still laughed. Some truth to that.
Yeah, it sucks for
Kyle made excuses for him after the game.
Yeah, I think he's a guard, man. I don't think he's got the feet for a tackle.
Which is crazy because like that's what they said when they drafted him. They're like, yeah, we're moving him to guard because he doesn't really have the feet to play tackle. And they're like, actually, we need a tackle. So the stuff that we said about him, forget that. We were joking. Fish Relaxing 9361 says Collins got stood up by a 260-pound third stringer and zero effort chasing backside. Yeah, guys.
He stands straight up. That's the thing you notice about him. He's straight up and down. And I mean, the most you can help from him if he's going to be playing like that is taking right. He might be able to eat up a couple double teams like that and swat a couple passes down, but he's not going to get in the backfield if he continues to play like that.
I just feel like people aren't familiar with what he did in college. Like last year in 16 games at Texas, he had 1 sack and 7 pass breakups. He is literally looking to bat passes. He's not getting anywhere near the quarterback. Nowhere near him.
No. So I wouldn't expect him. I would never expect that to be part of his game. He's never going to get a lot of sacks unless he just totally it's just his style. But
unless the quarterback runs directly into him.
Yes.
Which happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
It happens. Brother Bob says Chase Lucas equals dog. Made some NFL team. Hope it's the Niners. Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute. Before that, though, let's go linebackers. You know, I thought it was interesting. The only 2 starters played. Jason Pinnock and D. Winters. So to me, those guys are still, they haven't locked up their starting position yet. The weak side linebacker spot is still open. D. Winters played. Nick Martin played. Tatum Bethune played. I mean, they all played except for Fred. What do you think of these guys?
D. Winters is the guy I was very high on D. Winters. He reminded me last year. So last year wasn't his rookie season. I always say that because it felt like it. But last year was his sophomore season. And I always compare it to Huff, like being in the right spot, not taking the right angles. Huff's rookie year. And then I expected D. Winters to develop and improve in that regard under Robert Saleh, and I think he's going to. I think he has that spot on lock. Nick Martin, kind of like D. Winters last year, right, where he's just taking the wrong angles. You could see his athleticism, but to me, in my opinion, Nick Martin is nowhere near ready to start in the NFL. He needs a year under his belt to learn the game and for Robert Saleh to coach him up. He was missing so many tackles, and you could tell he's got the athleticism, but he just doesn't see the game or understand the angles yet. And it's something that can develop him. I'm not going to write him off after one bad preseason game. I just don't see him as a contributor this year.
We'll see. I mean, what's funny is he's supposed to replace Dre Greenlaw. It's like, good luck, dude, because I remember Dre Greenlaw as a rookie. He never, ever looked like that. In fact, I think it was pretty clear early on that he should have been starting next to Fred Warner, but it took him a while to get that job because they gave a bunch of money to Quan Alexander, who was basically a disappointment for the 49ers because he missed hella tackles and overran the play a lot. He was kind of undisciplined, and that's sort of what Nick Martin reminded me of yesterday. Like 6 feet, 219, kind of small, really explosive, but all over the place. Got a little, and Quan Alexander had some really good games, some good years towards ACL eventually. So if he could be Quan Alexander, great. But that's who he reminds me of, and like of a bad version, a guy who needs to aspire to be the good version of Quan Alexander.
I'm gonna say something possibly crazy right now. I think the 3rd best linebacker on the 49ers right now, Stone Blanton.
Ooh, what'd you like about Stone?
He just he seemed to be in the right place. He was causing problems. He was shedding blocks. He was doing a lot of great things, man. He was in the backfield. And the other thing I like to know, I really pay attention to like the relationships between him and other players and the leadership aspect of it. And if you watch him between plays, he was like lifting up his teammates, encouraging them, celebrating with them. I like Stone Blanton, man. And his name's Stone Blanton. Like
his name is Stone. He's a linebacker. He's gonna stone you. Okay, but I liked him too. I thought he might have been the 4th best linebacker. I thought the 3rd best linebacker was Tatum Bethune. I like Tatum Bethune. Yeah. He didn't test super well. He's not supposed to be fast. He just seems like he's always making the tackle. He's always there.
He's very consistent. And I think I had a buddy, I said this last year, I had a buddy who went to Florida, played football there. And he said, Renardo Green's great, but Tatum Bethune is a dude.
That's what I'm saying, man. If you're really looking for like a Dre Greenlaw replacement, that guy has to be the biggest dog on your team.
Yeah.
Not a guy who's a good athlete. Like the most unhinged person on your team. And I'm not saying this Tatum Bethune, but he kind of plays with that edge. And I don't know that others on this team, I mean, no one really does the way Dre Greenlaw does, but Bethune's got a little bit of that. He's a dog.
I think the 49ers, I'm excited about these young guys. And typically you don't worry about the linebacker position on the 49ers. Another reason why Fred's got to stay healthy, not only just being out there to play, but being out there to lift these other guys up and coach them up, I think is going to be big for D winners. And I do think you're right. Like Tatum Bethune and Stone Blanton, to me, those are not, you didn't say Stone, but Tatum Bethune is right there in the third or fourth spot, in my opinion. And I really think I like what I saw from Stone Blanton. I think those guys right now are more ready to play than Nick Martin.
I wasn't super juiced about what I saw from Luke Gifford. And I'm a little disappointed that he's still starting. Like they had him out there as a starter in OTAs and minicamp and stuff. And I'm like, all right, okay. Like he's the vet, but there's got to be another plan for this position, right? But now I'm starting to wonder if there is. And I mean, he seems like a guy you could take advantage of from another team. Like, oh, let's just go base. Let's get Luke Gifford out there and make him cover. Because there's no way he can't.
He's going to struggle in coverage. I didn't hate what I saw from Luke Gifford. I didn't see anything glaring, but I will say on special teams, he pancaked the hell out of a guy, and I think that's mainly what he was brought over for. He's a big special teams guy, so I think he'll contribute that way, and they'll probably keep him just because of that. Honestly, he might be the fifth linebacker just because of that. I don't know, but he blew a guy up on special teams, which is,
that's good. What he's there to do for sure.
Yeah.
All right, DBs. So Upton Stout didn't play, which was so disappointing. Mm-hmm. I think everyone was looking forward to watching him see, because he's been so good in practice and he's supposed to be a big hitter. If you watch his highlights, it's a bunch of tackles. He plays like a linebacker. So they said it was his calf injury. I never know with these calf injuries. Is he really hurt or did you just hold him out? I think if they wanted to hold him out, they could have just said so. So calf injuries scary. They often call Achilles injuries calf injuries. Jawan has one and there's no timetable. I don't know what to believe. But anyways, Stout wasn't out there. Green wasn't out there. Lenore wasn't out there. Grant wasn't out there. I wasn't out there. But there were some DBs who made an impression. I mean, Chase freaking Lucas, baby. Let's give Chase freaking Lucas some credit.
I'm encouraged, obviously one preseason game, but I'm encouraged about the DB spot. I was a little worried before coming into this game. But when you have Demo and hopefully Renardo takes a step forward, he had a good season last year, but hopefully he continues to take a step forward. Everything I've heard about Upton Stout is he's one of the best rookies we have. I haven't seen him yet, but those three guys are solid. And then Chase Lucas looked like the best player on the field last night to me. He was the best player on the field, in my opinion. He was everywhere. I'm excited that the 49ers have Chase Lucas. I think he's definitely top 4 corner on this team right now. So I walked away happy with it.
I just had a realization. I feel like Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green, they sound like Ninja Turtles. Diamador, Renardo. I like that. I feel like
it is.
If your DBs are Ninja Turtles, you got something there. So I like them. Chase Lucas I think he's got to make the team, dude. He not that many. It's hard to play nickel, and he seems like he can do it. I don't know. I liked him.
Chase Lucas should be on this team, and Darrell Luter had some decent play in coverage. Like they weren't throwing the ball his way, honestly, because I think his coverage was pretty good. So that was
he had that nice play in the end zone, and then he I don't know what the hell happened on that touchdown they gave up. It was probably his fault.
Yeah, that was just like a mental mistake right there.
It was a mental mistake.
Yeah. So at corner, Demo, Renardo, Chase Lucas, Upton Stout. To me, those are your 4 dudes. Trey Brown made a nice tackle, but that was pretty much all I saw from him. Darrell Luter has some decent coverage. But I think that's where it's at.
Jacob Robinson. Don't sleep on him.
On who? Jacob Robinson. He didn't look great last night to me. Is he been doing good?
Did he give up a bunch of catches?
What's that?
Did he give up a bunch of catches? I couldn't tell.
There's something he did. I forget what it was, but I remember just thinking, nah, that's not it, brother.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
damn,
we'll see.
Hear that, Jacob? Ryan's out.
No,
better step it up.
Just after one game. That's my opinion.
Better step it up. All right, special teams, dude. Jake Moody made 100% of his kicks.
Hold
all
on,
of them,
bro. What about freaking safety, dog?
Oh my god! Almost forgot about the most important position, dude. The most important rookie.
Yeah. So Malik, I can't wait for Malik to come back. Everyone knows he's one of my favorite guys. But Marquise Siegel and Mustafa. I love the idea of that combination right there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
What'd you
I think Siegel was the most impressive rookie. I had no idea he could do any of that. And that's why I try to take practice with a grain of salt, because certain positions are heavily based on tackling, like safety and linebacker. And I'm not going to pretend to tell you that I can see if they're going to be good tacklers when they're not tackling. So sometimes you just learn things in a preseason game. And I think the Niners didn't know this. I think they were like, oh, this is incredible. And then he went down with a knee injury, but it seems like it's just a bruise. Hopefully he looks like he should be starting. You want to take lumps? He should be on the field. He's more ready than Nick Martin, Alfred Collins.
And what's crazy is I think week 1, what you'll get is probably Jair and Jason Pinnock, right?
Could cost you the game.
But by the end of the year, when Malik gets healthy and they figure out Marquise Siegel's better, I think those will be your starting safeties. I think those are the best 2 safeties on the team.
Mm-hmm. And one guy runs a 4.3, one guy runs a 4.4. It's going to be a pretty explosive, violent. I mean, when you look at Siegel, he just looks kind of like a corner. He's not, or nickel. He's not that big, but he hits like a linebacker for sure.
I think I walked away thinking this defense could be a lot better than I expected. And plus Robert Saleh, the way he runs this defense, man, I think the defense could be pretty damn good. They might be bailing out the offense quite a bit this year.
We should have known when they took Siegel in round 5. Every round 5 pick the Niners make, especially on defense. Hufanga, Lenore, Greenlaw. This guy's going to be an all-pro, inevitably. Looked really good last night.
Yeah,
I liked him a lot.
I think linebacker is the only question on the 49ers defense, but I do trust Saleh to figure it out. So I think
when you got a Stone Blanton in your stable, there's no problem, man. Yeah. All right, special teams, dude. As I said, Jake Moody made 100% of his kicks last night. It was incredible. Didn't miss anything. Yeah. So I feel a lot better about him after seeing him make that extra point.
Before we get to Jake Moody, John Weeks, 5'10", 240 pounds. What is he, 39 years old?
Yeah.
5'10", 240?
Yeah.
Makes a tackle. I think, hate to say it to my guy. Who was the long snapper last year? I forget his name.
Already forgot his name.
Yeah.
Tabor Pepper. It's your guy.
Tabor, you're a hell of a guy, but man, John Weeks.
Poor guy got blackballed, man.
He's a load, man. So, no. But
do you think Tabor got blackballed because of the Debo incident or the political tweets?
Both. I think they were like the nerve of this guy to even cause, and you're a long snapper. Nobody should even know about you. Like, what you're doing too much. I think it's just like, let's move on.
Yeah. Let's do that. Because look, I've seen a lot of people long snap, and I've never ever seen someone as good as Tabor. I mean, it was incredible. And now I judge this I base this on nothing. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I thought his long snaps were just immaculate. But hey, John Weeks, he's tackling out here at 39 years old. That's an inspiration to people like me. I'm 37. Maybe I could do that one day.
Dude's a load, man. 5'10", 240 is insane. But
it's insane. What about Junior Bergen? That one move was nice.
Yeah, I think the problem I have with Junior Bergen is he did look good. Like his first return good too. And if you're going to use a roster spot on a wide receiver who probably won't play wide receiver, I don't know if I like that. I think that's what's working against Bergen. Now, the coach of the special teams has a special relationship with him. That might help out. But I don't know if Junior Bergen I don't know if he's so good that he should be on the team just to return. I don't know.
Good question. I mean, the team is so thin. Who would you be cutting to keep him? I think I liked him more as a punt returner because I think he could catch the ball, and I think he can make the first guy miss and get you about 10 yards, which is, I don't know if he's going to be getting you like touchdowns, but that's okay. If you can just catch the ball cleanly, make the first guy miss, and get like essentially the first down for the offense gets out there, that's a good punt returner. As a kick returner, I still don't understand what a kick returner is supposed to do in this new dynamic kickoff thing. It just seems like you get tackled. I mean, I don't know what the ideal skill set is for that spot, so I don't know how much value he can bring to that. They had Dallas Flowers doing it last night.
To me, I think this team is so thin that it's hard for me to understand a roster spot for a return guy. You know what I'm saying? Like if they can't contribute as a backup running back or a backup wide receiver, also at a decent level, I'd rather not keep them. You know, does that make
You got
sense?
some stuff you got to prove, Junior. All right, big picture. I saw one takeaway saying, I think it was Matt Mioko's. He was like, hey, if the Niners ever have to play a lot of their third stringers, they're going to lose. That's my main takeaway. And that's a fair takeaway because you don't want to go overboard with your preseason takes. But you mentioned a minute ago, team looks thin. I agree. What would be your spiciest take, your biggest picture assessment after one preseason game?
I think the defense is good. Linebackers a little concerning for me, but offensively, my man in here, I don't even know how to say his name. Mood Dib _69 says the Niners are too thin, zero girth. They're thin.
It's a girth issue.
Yeah, it's a girth.
Yeah, it's a girth issue.
Yeah, I don't. If they want to compete this year, like really compete, they need the best health they've had, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think that's what I walked away from this game thinking is just tackle like Trent and George and Brock, and they need Ayuk to get healthy. They need Ricky to stop getting injured. Like they need all of this to fall in place. Christian McCaffrey has to stay out. Like that's what they need, and I don't know how realistic it is, but I'm hopeful. I really think this defense is going to be a lot better than people think. And if the offense can stay healthy, they can be really competitive. But they are thinner than they've ever been. And if you take some of these players out, I think it could landslide.
What's interesting about this team, they keep comparing themselves to the 2019 team. They keep saying it like, well, we were kind of in a similar situation back then, and you know how that all worked out. And it was true, right? Like they were coming off a bad year, been injured, and then all of a sudden they put it all together. But one of the things that made that team interesting, people won't remember this, I don't think, but Joe Staley got hurt that year. Mike McGlinchey got hurt that year. Like they had stretches where they were winning with backup offensive tackles out there because one of their backup offensive tackles was Daniel Brunskill, who was good. Daniel Brunskill was a good player. He could start at left tackle. He could start at right tackle. He could start at guard, either one, or center. He could play all five positions at like a suitable level. And that was that saved their season in a lot of ways. I don't know that the Niners can do that this year. Spencer Burford is not Daniel Brunskill. Never has been, never will be. They drafted him to be that kind of a guy, but he's not. And I don't think Nick Zakelj is that guy. So, that's a big difference between those two teams.
I mean, it's just the thing that baffles me with this team. I just don't understand how they don't see this as a glaring need that needs to be addressed right away. They just have no urgency when it comes to the line, the tackle spot. And I just don't understand it. It blows my mind that Trent goes down. This team is going to have a tough year.
And I feel like they acknowledge that and understand. Like they signed Paris Johnson. What was that guy's name? What was his name? Not Paris Johnson. What's the guy's DJ Humphries. I wasn't even close. They signed DJ Humphries, but then didn't sign DJ Humphries. He left. Dillard. And then they signed Andre Dillard instead. So it seemed like they were trying to prepare for it, but the best they could get was Andre Dillard, who again has been hurt all freaking offseason. Like that's your plan. And it's an injured player. Like you guys are really big picture. This could all work out and they could be the best team in the league, but it seems like they're walking a tightrope and it's like a thread. It's floss.
Yeah, especially like not only depth, but for the future, right? Like Trent is not a young man. Who knows when his body's just not going to work for him anymore. And then McKivitz is on his way out, I would imagine. Like this is probably his last year. This is in a contract year. So what's the plan moving forward? A lot of people are talking about, hey, we need another year. This isn't our year. Maybe we'll win the Super Bowl. We need another good draft next year and we'll win the Super Bowl. But like tackle's still going to be a concern. You got to replace McKivitz and Trent at any time, knock on wood. Hopefully Trent stays forever. But I think McKivitz is going to play his way out contract-wise this coming season. This is going to be probably his last year. So what are they going to do at right tackle? It's just a glaring need. And I don't know why they've ignored it for so long. but hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them. But I think that's what this season is going to come down to. Like, is Trent and Colton going to stay healthy? And if not, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see if we're making too much of this depth issue, because to me, that's been sort of the story of the offseason for the 49ers. We know about their core. It's good. They have about 7 or 8 players that they give a lot of money to and are very good. But after that, they have a bunch of question marks. Rookies, guys who haven't done it, and guys who have to do it. Otherwise, this team isn't going to be very good. Like, people talk about the schedule that they have. You never know how good teams are going to be really before the season starts. It doesn't. Last year doesn't really matter. Are the Browns going to be an easy game for the Niners or a tough game? I don't know. It depends on a lot of things, particularly their quarterback, who looked pretty solid. So I don't know. And also, there's the division that the Niners are in that kicked their ass last year consistently. Are they not the worst team in the NFC West? I don't know. When they're healthy, they're not. But are they ever healthy? They're not healthy now.
For me, it's offensive line. It's questionable, especially at depth. But really, like, even the starters on the 49ers wide receiver unit are a question to me. I've never seen – I know he's, good reports about Ricky Pearsall in training camp, but he hasn't yet to, like, put together a full season. So we don't know if Ricky can even do that and what he's going to look like. Juwan is good for what he is. He's a possession receiver. Brandon Ayuk is coming off a horrific injury. I don't know when he's going to come back or what he's going to look like. The 49ers don't have a real top-notch wide receiver room as of right now. Maybe these guys will emerge, but that's tough.
What grade would you give their wide receiver room right now? And Ayuk's not part of it at the moment.
A C?
A C. Maybe a C plus, if we're being generous.
Yeah, I just don't see. I mean, again, like, maybe Pearsall will just
got a bunch of number twos, a bunch of number twos on your team, just like the Packers.
Or threes. I think Ricky, I think Ricky and Juwan are both slot guys. Right? Juwan's a different kind of slot.
Marcus is a 3.
Yeah, I think Cowing is a 3. I think they have a bunch of, not a 3, but I think they're all slots. Like, I really do. Like, they don't really have a true number one receiver
just
at
like
all.
The Packers too. You don't have a guy who can go out there and beat man-to-man coverage consistently. Like, when it's time to do that, no one's open. Pass protection is an issue. Quarterbacks holding the ball. I mean, it's been an issue for the Niners since they lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs for the second time.
Think about the top number 1 receivers in the NFL. Like, you can name them.
Brown, Jefferson,
who on the Niners is even close to that?
Ayuk was close to that in 2023. That's why they signed him. But if it ain't him, we'll see about Ricky. I think he can be a good number 2, but he hasn't even proven that yet. I don't know if he's physical enough to be a legit number 1. We'll see. We'll see about that.
Yeah. I think that's my concern. Like, can Trent stay healthy? Are any of these wide receivers going to emerge as actual guys? I mean, I think that's what the season's going to boil down to, and then obviously Christian.
Yeah, obviously Christian. All right, one more topic, and then we'll get our super chats and get out of here. Shedeur Sanders had his debut with the Browns and played. I don't know what you thought. I thought he looked better than he was supposed to look. I mean, the NFL painted him like he was going to be this absolute bust who was a non-athlete with a terrible arm, and it looked like he was the same guy he was in college, which was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, at least in college. What do you think? And did the Niners miss an opportunity? Like, he was there in the 5th round. They could have taken him instead of Jordan Watkins or Nick Martin.
A couple of things that I see. It's becoming like a trend that I see. It's like when somebody does good on another team in the preseason, they're like, yeah, but it's on the preseason against backups. But when someone on your team does good in the preseason, you get hyped about them, right? Like, I see a lot of fans do that.
Did you see Marquise Siegel out there? He was incredible.
He was balling. Siegel was balling, but Shedeur Sanders playing against backups, right? Like, I think I see that inconsistency amongst fans. So I want to, like, put that out there as we talk about this, right? Like, obviously, these quarterbacks are playing against backups. They're also playing with backups. That also never gets talked about, right? When Trey balled out, Yeah, he's playing against second and third stringers. Yeah, he's also playing with second and
Mhm.
third stringers. Same thing with Shador. But what I saw from Shador was really encouraging. And to me, he looked like he might be, like if the Browns actually give him a chance, he might be the new Brock Purdy as far as not the way they play,
Value.
but the best value in the NFL at about $1 million per year. And I think the Niners should have probably drafted him in that round. Like I'm not saying first round, second round, but where the Browns got him, yeah, the Niners should have got him there. I think he has a much higher ceiling than Mac Jones.
And it's like you look at forget Mac Jones for a second because they could have had both of them. You look at Carter Bradley and Tanner Mordecai. You know this team went through 4 quarterbacks a couple years ago. They used to talk about how important. Remember when they had Sam Darnold and Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, and they're like, what? I mean, the quarterback room is the most important room. You got to have a whole room. And now it's like Carter Bradley and Tanner Mordecai are in the room. They shouldn't be in the league. What are they doing here? How do you guys have these? Why would you even waste your time? I mean, neither has any upside. Freaking Harbaugh has Trey Lance and DJ Ugalele, who was like the #1 recruit out of high school. He's at least trying to work with some real talent. You guys got why would you not want to add a third quarterback to this room? I just don't. Why not? A good one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
you got Curtis Rourke though.
What's that?
I mean, the fact that you drafted Curtis Rourke means that you were looking for a guy because you know that Tanner and Carter ain't it. You signed Carter because Tanner ain't it. Then you brought Tanner back because I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been a smart move to get Shador. If you can get Shador Sanders in the 4th or 5th round, like everybody should be jumping on that. I think it was crazy that a lot of teams didn't, regardless of what your quarterback situation is. If nothing else, that could be a trade piece or great depth. I think Shador's going to prove a lot of people wrong in the NFL. Now he's on the Browns, so it's kind of hard to shine out there in Cleveland. So that might limit him. But I do think he's the best value in the NFL. And I think Niners probably should have took a chance with him,
What did you think of what Shador Sanders did after the game with Tony Grossi? Did you see that?
Oh, with the
walked up to him and said, "Hey man, you'll never have anything positive to say about me, man. What's that about? What did I ever do to you, Tony?"
Yeah, like a lot of the personality stuff that Shador had, I think it turned a lot of people off, but he's very smart. I think they just got a little carried away with that stuff. But now I think, maybe this whole thing kind of put things into perspective for him. But Shador Sanders is a smart dude. And so I think he's actively turning around. He's saying all the right things, doing all the right things to kind of turn around what people think of him in this league. And I think that was great the way he approached, it wasn't mean, wasn't angry. It was just, straightforward, which I respect because I'm a pretty straightforward communicator myself. So I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was completely fair. The one thing he did that I don't know if I would have liked it. He kept tapping Tony on the shoulder. I was like, but that aside, I felt like he had the right tone, the right energy. Like, I'm not mad. In fact, I'm kind of amused. I'm in a good mood because I just won and I played well. But like, by the way, Tony, you're gonna give me some props. You're gonna, hey, man, like, how about one time? And I think that's a fair thing to say because from Tony's perspective, he can't have an axe to grind. Why would you have a bias against this guy? If you think he's no good, fine. But now you got more evidence and you probably should praise him. So I thought that was fair. Tart did that to me. Like 2019, he came up to me. This was privately in the locker room. He was like, "How come every time you talk about me is negative?" I'm like, "Is that true?" He was like, "Yeah. You always highlight what I do bad and you never mention what I do well." And I'm like, "Damn. All right. You're right. Yeah. I'll do better." And I think it's fair for an athlete to be like, "Dude, why are you picking on me, man? What the hell did I do?"
I think with every relationship in life, no matter what it is, the straightforward communication, like calm, rational, straightforward communication is what people should do. Like
aspire to, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I think that's one of Kyle's downfalls is, if I'm a Kyle Shanahan, I'm going up to you like one-on-one. I'm catching you. Hey man, what's going on? We got to fix this, like work it out. Like Kittle did it with you. And I think like there's ways to handle stuff. And I don't know. I respect it. One thing I loved about, I went to New York a couple years ago with the wife for the first time. They're all straightforward communication, and people think that's bad. But like, California, we are kind of passive aggressive a little bit out here. Like, you don't really know if someone likes you or not in California. No. But in New York, and I love that.
Have you ever heard the term a California no? Like, hey man, you want to hang out this weekend? Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a no.
That's a no.
Oh yeah. Let me just check. Oh, that's a no. Like, you just say no. It's okay. You can say no. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm down. I could be down. I could be down. Oh, that's a no. You could be down. That's a hell no. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm talking about?
Even your dad. I saw your dad. I don't know when it was. Maybe a couple years ago. He was like, yeah. Even in California, they say, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, no. It's just no or yeah. It's not yeah, no.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I love Cali, but that is an observation I've definitely noticed.
Well, I think has to do with the difference between a subway culture and a car culture. In California, you can move around and not really interact with people that much. You're in your car, you lock your doors, you park the car, you get valet, you could just insulate yourself from everyone. But in New York, you could be the richest dude in the world. You got to get in that subway and you got to smell all the musty people in the freaking humid heat. You know what I mean? It's a different, and it pisses everyone's kind of annoyed, and you get bump into people, and there's all these people you're never going to freaking see again. So why not be direct?
Yeah, I respect it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, let's take our final super chats. Anoop says 1 Jalen Walker, 2 Ursery, 3 Dylan Fairchild. Oops, I could have been there. 1, 2, 3 picks, but they got stout though. Shout out to Mama Ayuk. Yeah, if you're watching, Mama Ayuk, I appreciate you for supporting the show. I'm always going to support Brandon, my favorite wide receiver in the league by far, as everyone always knew. Matty Bruce says we're forgetting just how much rook it on the roster. How much rook it on the roster? Salah will be lucky to make rookies on this roster. Make it top 10. D, lower those expectations. Philosophy is unknown.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I think they're going to be top 10. I think I do think they'll be top 10. Let's make a bet, Matty Bruce. I do think so. That this defensive line is much better than they were last year. Getting rid of what is that guy's name that walked off the damn field?
Oh, who cares? Yeah, Devondre Campbell.
He was awful. So
he's terrible.
Any one of these linebackers is better than him. And plus, you got Robert Saleh calling the play. I think this defense is going to be improved. I do believe that.
I think a lot. We'll see about Michael. He's important. But I like the D-line. I think the linebackers have a lot of potential. Secondary is going to come down to Renardo, Stout, Siegel, Mustafa. If those guys are all healthy, the Niners could have a really good secondary. But like Stout, Calf, Green, hamstring. I mean, they still have to prove that they can be consistent and durable. But there's a lot of potential in that secondary that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce this one? Ahas says trivia, easiest schedule since the 2015 Panthers. They started 5-0, destroying teams, finished 9-8, missing the playoffs. The collapse was blamed on newly hired OC's inability to adapt. Guess that OC. 05 Panthers. Man, they went to the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Was it Ken Dorsey? But I think that's your year wrong. 49er Frank says Bethune and Lucas look like different players under Saleh versus Sorensen. Siegel played with the decisiveness and looks like he has some range. Let Rob cook.
Robert Saleh.
Oh, yeah. Big Bob Saleh. We have probs if our number one DBs go down for long. Yeah. They're one injury away for having Dallas Flowers on the field in a real game.
Chase, I'm telling you, man. Chase Young proved himself yesterday. He's got to keep
Chase Young, take it back. Chase Lucas. Chase Young is not welcome around here.
Chase Lucas.
He's in the Devondre Campbell. Yeah. He wasn't that bad. Matty Bruce says this era NFL forgot the power of a legit stud corner. Remember Revis Island, Pepperidge Farm remembers, more valuable than any edge rush or Bosa, etc. Yeah, but those guys are super rare. They're hard to find.
And if you have a really good D line pass rush, that'll help your corners. Or if you have really good corners, that helps your D line. They work hand in hand. So you got to have one that's really freaking good.
Here's the question: would you rather have a really well-rounded team that's dominant nowhere, or a team that is absolutely dominant in one or two places with some weaknesses?
Depends on. I think they dominate.
If you have the best D line in the league, it may not matter what your secondary is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what. Not that the Eagles had a bad secondary, but it was irrelevant. It was they won the game with one position group in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Take defenses mid, offense presses and performs. Yeah, but they're one injury away to like Ben Bartch or Trent Williams or Colton McKivitz to being a bad offense. So it's going to be week to week. I think the defense is going to be like steadily improving because the young guys are going to, but the offense is going to be who's healthy. Which old guy is down this week?
I think we're back to the Niners way of, and maybe not this year, a lot, maybe more so next year, but I think we're headed in the direction of the tradition under Kyle Shanahan, where the Niners defense is bailing out the offense. I think that's where we're headed. Really, I just don't see the weapons at the receiver position.
Also, just from a schematic standpoint, I have more confidence in Saleh than Kyle. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was really pleased with the stuff that Saleh was showing. It was mostly vanilla, but like I think he's evolving, and I don't know that Kyle's evolving. You went straight back to the tight end blocking the edge rusher in the preseason. Like, dude, come on, man. Let's see something new from you. That hasn't worked in years. I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know.
Wait. Go back. Go back. You missed
Ryan, I love you, but this defense ain't above 15.
Let's bet it. So you just dropped it to 15, Maddie. You just dropped it to 15. Let's take the bet, man. What is the bet?
Steven C. Pryor says, I walked away from last night thinking Junior Bergen, Super Bowl 60, MVP. Then he says, Shador will completely eclipse Deion's career if the Browns can get their hands on Junior Bergen. Matty Bruce says, would you give up Stout or CJ West for Shador right now? Those are your 4th and 5th rounders. If not, your point is moot. Drafting is a game of opportunity cost. What about Jordan Watkins? Would you give up Jordan Watkins for Shador right now? I mean,
yeah,
I think I would.
Yeah.
A potential number 3 wide receiver for a potential starting quarterback. I mean, yeah. Love you, Ryan. I'm in for a water bet.
Let's go. Water fight.
Who's going to be better? Kyle with offense or Saleh with defense? Ask party time. I'm Team Saleh. I'm Team Saleh. Big Bob. All right, that's the show, man. Hour and 11. I had a lot to talk about today, Ryan. Thank you so much for your time. I missed you, man. We haven't done this show in a while. Back.
It's been a minute. I'm glad we have actual football to talk about. I needed a break from
talking about non-actual football. That's the rough one. I don't like doing that. Yeah. All right, guys. Good to be back. Thanks for watching.